Biggest advice I'd give anyone looking to transform their customer engagement strategy is not to replicate what you have on your existing platform. Don't look at what you have today and try and copy it in your new system. Try and understand how the business works and what you want to achieve and how you can improve, then start looking at new products. There's no point putting all this time and effort and investment into a solution if it does exactly the same as the old one. My name's James. I'm a Unified Communications Consultant for Mad Scientist Consulting. I have been awarded as a Microsoft MVP 6 years running now in the Teams space. Been working with Teams since basically it started, Skype for Business and other communications platforms before that for about 20 years. So the biggest change I've seen with Teams and communications in general is how diverse it is. Years ago, your phone system used to be a box on the wall. You had to look after it, and if you weren't near it, you couldn't take and receive calls. If anything went wrong with it, you couldn't take calls. Nowadays, with Teams being in the cloud, it's accessible from anywhere you've got an internet connection. So you can work from home, your office can go offline. It's just so diverse. The Teams service itself has 5 nines uptime, so there's really no reason that you should be offline. Another big change with Teams being the centre for collaboration for the business is it's now the centre of collaboration for communication with your clients as well. Meaning that your clients are obviously going to speak to you about a grievance or a concern or some reason they're contacting you. Your agents have the ability to reach out to anyone in the business because they're on the same platform. You've got access to all your tools like your CRM, your SharePoint, all that sort of stuff. It's all in the same app. So we're not having agents jump from one platform to another to try and get solutions solved. Or more specifically, when an inquiry comes in that's a little difficult, they can speak directly to people on the same platform without having to jump between apps. The biggest reason I'm not a fan of the old school way of doing things is that your phone system and your contact center, they were a box on the wall. There was something you had to buy in the right size for where you were going to grow. If you had 10 employees and you bought the right size phone system for that and then grew to 100 employees, it was a costly replacement. When you look at things like Microsoft Teams and other sort of license-based systems, you can start small and grow as you need. It's also not a box on the wall that you have to look after and get users connected to. As long as they're connected to the internet, you've got access to your contact center. So I'm a consultant by trade, and I see this all the time where I walk in and I help a business transform from their legacy telephony into a more modern platform, and the contact center is typically separate from that. And what we find is that sometimes the contact center team has different ideas for how they want to implement things, and the telephony team and contact center team don't always get along. But in saying that, when you have everything rolled into the same system, it reduces the complexity a lot. You don't have to worry about dedicated number ranges that go to another platform. You don't have to worry about special SIP trunks or hardware appliances or special integrations, because it's all just bolted into Teams. It's just another thing you add on top, and you've got a contact center. The biggest changes Teams have made for customer engagement is the APIs to allow contact centers to bolt in natively. Previously, contact centers were a separate thing and they were managed by a separate company, and if you wanted to make any changes to it, good luck. Now, obviously, everything is in Teams. It's simple and easy to manage, and your IT team can look after it because it's just Teams. It's stuff that's part of Office, they already know it. And if you want a simple change, it's something that they can do rather than sending it off to a third-party company and waiting a week for a response. So the biggest misconception I see about Teams in my line of work is that it's basic. Everyone sort of has that idea that where Teams was years ago, that it just makes and receive calls, or maybe you can have a hold queue or something like that. There's no reporting, there's no advanced sort of analytics or wrap-up codes or anything like that. And then they start looking at third-party solutions. And the problem with that is there are products for Teams that do that. You look at things like CentrePal and how they're changing the game. They use the Teams native APIs, the calls are built into Teams, and you get all that sort of wrap-up codes and reporting and all that analytics that you're looking for in a contact center solution without actually jumping out of the Teams ecosystem.